how do you feel about like toxic productivity? It's a word that gets bandied about quite a lot. Yeah.
No, it's a really good thing. This is what I talk about in, I'd say, the second half of my book. Like all the stuff about mental health, perfectionism, hustle culture, all of that falls into toxic productivity. I think it's people misusing the idea of productive. Productivity is spending your time well.
Yeah, I agree.
That's literally the definition, right? And that doesn't mean sitting and revising for 10 hours, which is what productivity has often come to be associated with. And I think if you reshape it to view productivity as just spending your time well, whether that's for enjoyment, resetting, self-care, then there almost isn't a toxic productivity. It's just you're not spending your time in the best ways for you. And I think it is so important for young people to take more time for things like mindfulness, where you like totally switch off from the internet. And in the chapters talking about exam season, you're kind of like a warrior going into battle. And when a warrior is when a soldier is going into battle, they're thinking about their diet, they're thinking about the levels of rest they get, a good night's sleep before all of these things. And when you're in exam season, you start to do the same. And one of the most productive things you can do is looking after yourself. So
yeah, I sometimes get messages from people being like, how do I study when I'm tired? Or how do you pull an all-nighter? I'm just like, don't do it. Don't study when you're tired. Don't pull an all-nighter. There's like almost nothing to be gained from doing that stuff.
What are your thoughts on toxic productivity?
Basically the same as yours, to be honest. I think the way I usually... So I often get accused of sort of peddling toxic productivity stuff, as do a bunch of other... I don't think you do, because you're very on the sort of self-love type thing. But if you're of our other YouTuber friends...
I used to a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
StudyTube.
StudyTube. 14-hour study with me, and it's like all that kind of stuff. And to me, it's just a bit baffling, because to me, productivity is doing the things that matter to us. Yeah. And so to me, hanging out with my friends, I would consider productive. And like playing Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation, if I'm taking a break, I would consider productive. Yeah. But I think it's too easy. It's very easy for people to look at a headline, 14-hour study with me or something like that, not actually watch the video and realize that it's actually 4 hours of work and the rest of it was just banter.
And part of, the advertising around this video for it to do well on YouTube has to be something sometimes a little bit extreme.
Exactly.
The only study guide you ever need. Yeah. Come on. It doesn't mean I think it's the only study guide you'll ever need. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of artistic license in the typing of this stuff. But yeah, my theory, I mean, I fully agree with your perspective on this, doing more of the things that matter to us, whether that is taking a break, hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, and doing things that are meaningful to us, so the forethought bit, and having fun along the way.
Exactly.
And like, if you do more of that, like, I don't know how that can be toxic, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah, or even focus. For me, the idea of that is when you're relaxing, you shouldn't be focusing on all the things that you have to do and, like, oh, I should be revising right now. Like, focus on just watching that film or enjoying time with your friends. It's like being present is productive.